purpose of this policy is to establish a comprehensive framework for ensuring the electrical safety of all employees and contractors working within the paper mill environment. It outlines the minimum safety requirements, responsibilities, and procedures to be followed to prevent electrical hazards, accidents, and incidents. This policy applies to all employees, contractors, and visitors working within the paper mill premises. It covers all electrical equipment, installations, and operations, including firstly, 575-volt primary electrical systems, secondly, electrical distribution and utilization systems, and thirdly, motors, lighting, and other electrical devices, and finally, electrical controls and instrumentation. Management must ensure the implementation, communication, and enforcement of this policy, provide adequate resources and training for electrical safety, establish and maintain a safe work environment, and regularly review and revise the policy as needed. Employees must follow all electrical safety procedures and guidelines, report any electrical hazards or incidents immediately, use only authorized and properly maintained electrical equipment, and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, abbreviated PPE, when working with electricity. Contractors must comply with all electrical safety standards and regulations, submit electrical work plans and drawings for approval, use qualified and experienced electricians for all electrical work, and ensure that all electrical installations and equipment meet the requirements of this policy. All electrical installations must comply with the latest edition of the National Electrical Code, abbreviated NEC, and the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, abbreviated OSHA, regulations. Electrical equipment must be properly grounded and bonded. Electrical panels and cabinets must be clearly labeled and accessible. Hazardous areas must be properly classified and equipped with appropriate electrical equipment. A formal lockout tagout procedure must be implemented to isolate and prevent accidental energization of electrical equipment during maintenance and repairs. Only authorized and qualified personnel may perform electrical lockout tagout. Regular inspections and maintenance of electrical equipment must be performed by qualified electricians. Preventive maintenance programs must be established to minimize electrical failures and hazards. Electrical defects must be repaired immediately. All employees working with electricity must receive appropriate electrical safety training. Training must cover topics such as electrical hazards, safety procedures, lockout tagout, and cardiopulmonary resuscitation, abbreviated CPR, and first aid. Employees must demonstrate proficiency in electrical safety practices before being authorized to work with electricity. In case of an electrical accident or incident, employees should immediately contact their supervisor and the emergency response team. Electrical fires should be extinguished using only appropriate fire extinguishers. Do not approach or touch downed electrical wires. Violations of this policy may result in disciplinary action, up to and including termination of employment or contract. Management reserves the right to suspend or revoke any employees' or contractors' electrical privileges for safety violations. This policy will be communicated to all employees and contractors upon hiring or commencement of work. The policy will be reviewed and revised on a regular basis to ensure its effectiveness and compliance with industry standards. All electrical work on 575-volt systems must be performed by experienced and qualified electricians. Proper arc flash protection gear must be worn when working with 575-volt equipment. Adequate workspace and clearance must be maintained around 575-volt equipment. Voltage testing and verification must be performed before any work is commenced. To elaborate on the electrical safety requirements, grounding and bonding are crucial for personnel safety and equipment protection. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, allowing overcurrent protection devices to quickly trip and energize the circuit. Bonding ensures that all metallic parts of an electrical system are at the same electrical potential, minimizing the risk of electric shock. The NEC, specifically Articles 250.4 and 250.8, provides detailed requirements for grounding and bonding. Proper labeling of electrical panels and cabinets is essential for quick identification of circuits and equipment. Labels should clearly indicate the purpose of each circuit breaker or switch, as well as the voltage and amperage rating. This information is critical for safe operation and maintenance of electrical systems. The NEC Article 110.22 covers the requirements for identification of disconnecting means. Hazardous area classification is necessary in paper mills where flammable materials or explosive atmospheres may be present. The NEC Article 500 defines different classes and divisions of hazardous locations based on the type and frequency of hazardous substances. Appropriate electrical equipment, such as explosion-proof or intrinsically safe devices, must be used in these areas to prevent ignition. Lockout-tagout procedures are essential for preventing accidental energization of electrical equipment during maintenance and repairs. These procedures involve isolating the electrical energy source, applying a lock and tag to the disconnecting means, and verifying that the equipment is de-energized. OSHA Standard 29 Code of Federal Regulations 1910.147 outlines the requirements for lockout-tagout procedures. The preventive maintenance program should include regular inspections, testing, and cleaning of electrical equipment. Inspections should focus on identifying any signs of damage, wear, or overheating. Testing should verify the proper functioning of circuit breakers, ground fault circuit interrupters, abbreviated GFCIs, and other protective devices. Cleaning should remove dust, dirt, and other contaminants that can contribute to electrical failures. Electrical training should cover a wide range of topics, including electrical hazards, safety procedures, lockout-tagout, personal protective equipment, CPR, and first aid. Training should be tailored to the specific tasks and responsibilities of each employee. Employees should demonstrate proficiency in electrical safety practices through written exams and practical demonstrations. The 575-volt primary systems require special attention due to the higher voltage levels. Electrical work on these systems should only be performed by experienced and qualified electricians who have received specific training on 575-volt equipment. Arc flash protection gear, including arc-rated clothing, gloves, and face shields, must be worn when working with 575-volt equipment to protect against the hazards of arc flash. Adequate workspace and clearance must be maintained around 575-volt equipment to allow for safe access and egress. Voltage testing and verification must be performed before any work is commenced on 575-volt equipment to ensure that the equipment is de-energized and safe to work on. The electrical safety policy should also address specific hazards that are common in paper mills, such as exposure to moisture, chemicals, and dust. Electrical equipment should be protected from these hazards through the use of enclosures, seals, and other protective measures. The policy should also include procedures for dealing with electrical emergencies, such as power outages, electrical fires, and electrical shocks. Regular reviews and revisions of the electrical safety policy are essential to ensure that the policy remains effective and up to date with the latest industry standards and regulations. The policy should be reviewed at least annually, or more frequently if there are significant changes in the paper mill's electrical systems or operations. In addition to the above requirements, the electrical safety policy should also address the following topics. Firstly, the use of extension cords and portable electrical equipment. Secondly, the inspection and maintenance of power tools. Thirdly, procedures for working on or near energized electrical equipment. Fourthly, the requirements for reporting electrical accidents and incidents. And fifthly, procedures for investigating electrical accidents and incidents. The use of extension cords and portable electrical equipment should be minimized whenever possible. When extension cords are necessary, they should be heavy-duty, properly grounded, and free from damage. Portable electrical equipment should be inspected regularly for damage and should be taken out of service if any defects are found. Power tools should be inspected before each use to ensure that they are in good working order. Any damaged or defective power tool should be taken out of service immediately. Working on or near energized electrical equipment should be avoided whenever possible. When it is necessary to work on or near energized equipment, appropriate safety precautions must be taken, such as the use of insulated tools and personal protective equipment. Electrical accidents and incidents should be reported immediately to the supervisor and the safety department. A thorough investigation should be conducted to determine the cause of the accident or incident and to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. The electrical safety policy should be communicated to all employees and contractors in a clear and concise manner. Training should be provided to ensure that all employees and contractors understand the requirements of the policy and are able to implement them effectively. The policy should be posted in a prominent location in the paper mill and should be readily accessible to all employees and contractors. By implementing a comprehensive electrical safety policy, the paper mill can create a safe working environment for all employees and contractors and can prevent electrical hazards, accidents, and incidents. Remember that adherence to National Fire Protection Association, abbreviated NFPA, 70 is a good start, but tailoring the policy to the specific hazards and equipment in your paper mill is crucial for effective electrical safety management. Proper documentation, regular training, and consistent enforcement are key to ensuring the policy's success. Additionally, consider including specific procedures for handling temporary electrical setups, such as those used during maintenance or construction activities. These procedures should address grounding, overcurrent protection, and the use of ground fault circuit interrupters, abbreviated GFCIs, to protect workers from electrical shock. The policy should also address the selection and use of appropriate personal protective equipment, abbreviated PPE, for different electrical tasks. This may include arc-rated clothing, gloves, face shields, and footwear. The PPE should be regularly inspected and maintained to ensure that it is in good working order. Furthermore, the policy should outline the procedures for conducting regular electrical safety audits to identify potential hazards and ensure compliance with the policy requirements. These audits should be conducted by qualified personnel and should include a review of electrical installations, equipment, and procedures. Findings of audits should be documented and used to improve the electrical safety program. Also ensure the policy clearly defines the roles and responsibilities of different personnel involved in electrical safety, including management, supervisors, electricians, and other employees. This will help to ensure that everyone understands their responsibilities and that electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Finally, the electrical safety policy should be a living document that is regularly reviewed and updated to reflect changes in industry standards, regulations, and the paper mill's operations. This will help to ensure that the policy remains effective and up to date. So firstly, the policy must address specific hazards unique to a paper mill environment, such as moisture, chemicals, and the presence of conductive paper dust. Secondly, it should incorporate detailed lockout tagout procedures tailored to the mill's equipment and processes. Thirdly, it has to mandate regular inspections and maintenance of electrical equipment, with documented findings and corrective actions. Fourthly, it should require specialized training for employees working with 575-volt systems, including arc flash awareness and proper use of PPE. Fifthly, it needs to define clear roles and responsibilities for electrical safety management. And sixthly, it should establish a system for reporting and investigating electrical incidents, with a focus on prevention. And seventh, and last, the policy should be reviewed and updated regularly to ensure compliance with evolving standards and regulations. For electrical installations, compliance with NEC and OSHA regulations is paramount. Grounding and bonding are critical for personnel safety, requiring meticulous attention to detail. Proper labeling ensures quick identification during emergencies, and hazardous area classification is essential to prevent explosions. Electrical lockout tagout demands a formal, strictly enforced procedure to prevent accidental energization, limiting access to qualified personnel. Electrical maintenance and inspection necessitates regular inspections, preventive maintenance, and immediate repairs by certified electricians. Electrical training and certification calls for comprehensive training covering hazards, procedures, and CPR first aid, ensuring demonstrable proficiency. Emergency procedures require clear protocols for electrical accidents, fires, and downed wires, prioritizing immediate reporting. Enforcement dictates disciplinary actions for violations, with management retaining authority to suspend privileges. Communication and review mandate widespread communication, regular reviews and updates to maintain effectiveness. 575-volt primary systems necessitate work by experienced electricians, proper arc flash protection, and thorough voltage testing before commencement.